They had to do the childhood friend thing. They had to do the childhood friend thing. For those who don't know, I absolutely hate the childhood friend trope. It always happens. I had a hope that this series was actually going to pull off something where, I don't know, maybe Alya doesn't remember Kuze from the past, and that was actually her, and then she dyed her hair from blonde to silver for some reason, maybe to fit in Japan. That's my assumption for Masha at this point, but no. It's her sister, the childhood friend. Literally, there's a point in this episode where you just hear her heart shatter. She realized at that point, I lost. She realized at that point, I have to step down. This is the person that my sister loves, and I absolutely hate it every time they pull this crap off. I don't know. There's got to be some weird fetish in Japan that they just love breaking the heart of childhood friends, because every series does it. I mean, there's one here or there sprinkled around. I'm not going to say which series because it kind of spoils it, but they literally have a series that is named The Childhood Friend Won't Lose. You know it exists. This is a thing. And I think the only reason, I don't know the ending of that series, but the only reason that a childhood friend would actually win in that series is because they're all childhood friends. Now, I don't know, maybe at the end of the series, he doesn't choose any of them. He just like goes, never mind, I'm going to go for my teacher or something like that. Maybe that's how it actually ends. But I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I don't know, again, what the obsession is. That's what I was kind of joking about in the last episode, this idea of that, yeah, that's why I liked the sister characters and the whole Wincest thing, is because they're, like Yuki says, they're actually technically childhood friends. Anyways, not a thirsty episode for once. We finally got an Alya episode that is not full of ecchi and stuff like that we can laugh about. It was a very story-driven episode. This is a lot to do with Kuze's past. This is a lot to do with Alya's past. It's a lot to do with Masha's past. We're getting like a full layout of what drives these characters and seemingly some trauma that brought two characters together. So let's jump into the episode proper. Let's start off with Alya. Alya's segment really is kind of the focus of what kind of drives her. And it seems to be there's some sort of thing that is pushing her to try to do better. And it seems to be indicating that it has to do with the whole silver spoon aspect, that she always strives to do better. Anything that has her name on it, she wants to make sure it's not sloppy. And we get that sense with her doing this whole project in Russia, which we finally got pretty much a full indication here of essentially how much time Alya has spent in both countries. Because I think that was a question mark for me personally, because yes, we're seeing a lot of people that want to criticize the Seiyu and how she pronounces Russian. I mean, let's face it. Whenever Japan anime itself does other languages, it's in most cases, 99% time, not going to be like fluent in that language. And I was kind of giving it a pass because I think the Seiyu does a really good job. I mean, I'm not fluent in Russian, so I can't say for real. But still, I think for her, I think she has a passion for it. She really loves Russia, their history and everything like that. So she's been learning it. But the question mark was going to be, should there be an expectation that she has fluent Russian? Because obviously, if her character is living there all the time and she just moved to Japan, yes, I can understand she should be fluent. But now we're getting an indication that she lived in Japan for at least 10 years, went to Russia for 5 years, came back to Japan. So she's lived most of her life in Japan. Yes, she has a Russian father, but she also has a Japanese mother. So I don't see any reason why she should be fluent. She's going to be bilingual, if anything. So I don't have that expectation for her to do that. But again, this is for Japanese television. It's not meant to be fluent. They're going for the Japanese audience. The Seiyu is very popular. That's why they use her. But again, that's kind of something that kind of finally answers that question. She technically has lived in Japan most of her life. But yes, 6 years ago, she went to Russia. She was there for a while. She was very kind of pushy about the idea that trying to do a good job with her projects. Again, it seems like there's an indication here that she's trying to do good to prove herself. And again, that might be something to do with the fact that she is at least a status, like her family status, which I'm kind of curious if they'll get more into that. But yeah, she pushes a lot. People don't like it. She comes back to Japan. That's when we finally get the meeting with Kuze. Again, no indication that she met him before this. Again, I think that was Masha. But yeah, it's a cool little kind of way of showing why Alya kind of attached herself to Kuze. This is a cool kind of explanation of that, this idea that she pushed herself all the time. And he kind of showed her an alternate way. He's like, your passion is good. Yes, I'm sorry that I stepped on that passion. You're right in that regard. You have a reason for why you're pushing yourself, but I think you're putting it in the wrong place. This is a festival. We're supposed to be doing it as a group. The whole point is to do it as a group, and it seems like through him kind of getting people involved by yes, telling the boys that if you do this, then you're going to help them out and you can show off to the girls, and that's why they want to do this. Alya seemed to have enjoyed the festival because she got to do it with the group. The group achieved something together, and that was something that she enjoyed. So he kind of showed her something, showed her to kind of step back and tackle things in a different way. And it was a cute little thing. And a little bit of teasing between the two of them about how she's the ice queen and how she's a loner and all this kind of stuff. It was a cute little segment that really did kind of cement for me why Alya likes him. Because again, coming into these kind of rom-com series, the big question mark that always comes up is, how are they going to prove why this girl likes him so much? What is so special about this loner guy that she should technically hate? I mean, even Masha says that. That sounds like somebody you should hate. Yeah, it technically is. But that was more because the idea that he is lazy, but again, it showed that he knows how to tackle issues and show her an alternate way. So despite the fact that, yeah, it seems like she probably doesn't like the fact that he's lazy, she at least has a reason for liking him, and it's because he kind of showed her that middle ground, I think is really what it is. He showed her that middle ground that she technically liked in the end. We also got the answers to why he calls her Alya. I thought that was kind of cute. There's this idea that she owes him a favor, and so he's just like, oh, I'll take a nickname. Because what better thing to have than being the only person in class that can call the idol of the class a nickname? It's pretty cool. And yeah, it was cute kind of getting the whole ballet dancing thing and being invited to dance and then eventually taking her off to go dance together. I wish they kind of showed that whole scene, but it is what it is. In the manga, they technically show that, yes, Alya, when she was in Russia and stuff, she had her doing like everything, ballet and stuff like that. She was all about being like the best at everything, and sports was one of those things, and ballet was one of them. So yeah, she's technically done a lot of things to kind of prove herself, which again, I'm hoping that they'll get more into exactly why that is. And again, I'm pretty sure it's probably the silver spoon aspect, the idea of people assuming that she's born into a good status and thus everything is handed to her. She wants to prove herself by actually getting stuff done. But yes, we got to see Lolly Alya. That was cute. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily classify it Lolly, but technically like 10 years old. She was cute. There was even a segment in the manga that had like the sister Masha kind of confronted by the other school kids talking about how, yeah, my mom said that Alya dropped by her shop, so that she's really trying hard and all this kind of stuff. And there was a fear there that Masha had that, yeah, because she's such a go-getter and such a hard worker, that's going to clash with her schoolmates. And sure enough, we got to see that in the anime. But yeah, this whole little segment of her past was technically her telling Masha her experience with Kuze, trying to get into her head that they're not a couple. It's like, no, he's just my friend. He's actually a friend. Because he said that technically. He said that they're friends. She's really proud of that. But yeah, Masha the entire time's like, yeah, I don't think that's what you're talking about. No, I think that's way more than friends. But hey, friends eventually become lovers, just like Sa-chan. And then there was we'll get the reveal that yes, Masha, Alya's sister, I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure that Masha is the childhood friend that Kuze has memories of. Which that plays into Kuze's whole thing, which was a very brief little snippet, but I think it implies a lot. When they were in the tea shop and she embraces him, says that he's in pain, he says something to the effect that it's nostalgic and it's familiar feeling and it's soothing. Her embracing him, saying it's okay, they're there, it was something that he recalled. And based on what they kind of showed there with, yes, his father and mother decided to part ways. Yes, this little brief snippet of showing Yuki, she looked like she was sick at the time and she wanted to stay with mother seemingly. So they both went their separate ways. Kuze and Yuki went their separate ways with the family. It seems like either Yuki liked the mother more or possibly she felt like she'd be a burden to the father or something like that. Because it looked like she was ill. And so it felt like she had to stay there. It looked like a really fancy house, so I'm assuming that maybe the mother got everything, or the mother was more well off than the father, so essentially parting ways with them, Yuki would be more taken care of, so I guess it's a good thing. Well, separating a family is not a good thing, no matter how you look at it, but Yuki's decision was a good thing. But anyways, that's all to kind of imply to me that what happened in the past segments is that, yes, the family's separated, and Kuze was not in a good place. He was very upset about this whole separation thing and losing his sister and losing his mother, living with the father alone, even though it does imply that Yuki comes over there every now and then. It's not like they can't see each other, but it's still a thing that a child is going to struggle with. He chose to stay with his father, probably very upset about that. And probably while he was running around the neighborhood, eventually he runs into Masha. Again, I'm assuming it's Masha. Now, there is still some things that are throwing a wrench in this theory that it is Masha. Masha has a locket that has his picture in it. And my assumption is back in the day when he was running around, she comforted him, and that's what was nostalgic to him. The only thing that really throws a wrench in that is really the fact that the girl from the past with the blonde hair had blue eyes. And that matches Alya's blue eyes. That was why I originally thought that it was going to be a dyed hair scenario with Alya, because yeah, I can see people putting contacts in to change their eye color, and Masha could totally do that, but that seems to be way more out of the way. Like, that's just not really effort I can see somebody do. Somebody changing their hair color for the sake of fitting into a different area, that stuff I can see more so than I put in contacts every morning because I don't like my blue eyes. But that all kind of does play into the theory that, yeah, it could be that he's just merging the two girls together. And that would be actually a very interesting storyline to get into. The idea of somebody during a traumatic time in their life feeling very much so in a bad state because their family's separating and everything like that. Yeah, technically seeing these two girls as the same person because they show up at this park every now and then. Maybe they both have the same hair color. Maybe his experience with the two of them kind of just ended up melding. I don't know. It could be a weird kind of psychological thing to get into. Or I'm completely wrong and they're just throwing some false flags at me that I'm totally eating up. But definitely with that first meeting they had in the student council room, it really did seem like Masha picked up very quickly, this is Sachan. This is the person from my past. The only thing that's weird there, though, is that she keeps saying that she called this boy from her past Sachan. But yet in the flashback with Kuze, the girl said Masachika. She didn't say Sachan in that past history. So it could technically be both of them. That maybe Masha met up with Kuze every now and then, and maybe Alya met up with Kuze every now and then. So they might both be childhood friends. But there's still an element here that if he feels that nostalgia with her and that comforting, that's where that heartbreak's going to happen, because it kind of connects them as childhood friends much more in my eyes, just because of how much she was seemingly, if this is the case, comforting him when he was in a really dark place. And now jump to the current time, and suddenly she's reunited with that person that she spent so much time with and seemingly adored. And it ain't going to happen because now, like I said, she knows that Alya was talking about Kuze and was obvious in love. She just doesn't know it yet. And now she's going to have to back off. But yeah, that whole scene in the student council room, just like, it broke my heart. She's like introduced herself, comes up there, looks at his face and goes, wait, what's your name? And I think she was going to say it. But then, like I said, I think she realized that moment, oh, wait, stop. This is my sister's, the person that my sister loves. The sister that, yes, by all indications up to this point, has always been alone. This is the first person seemingly that has actually connected to her. She thinks as a friend, but this is my sister who's always alone, always a loner. Again, that whole flashback that they cut, which was in the manga, was indicating that she was talking to her friends, Masha was, and talking about how Alya is probably going to struggle because she's so competitive. She always wants to strive for the best. And that's going to conflict with people. She's not going to make friends. So she pulls back, says, oh, yeah, anyways, let's go. In Russian. Like right there, it was like still like she was trying to jab at him to see if it was him or if he's going to reply to it. I think right there she was testing him. Like, okay, let's go. And he still says, what? Did you say something? What did you say? Oh, I'm sorry. I said, let's go. She was totally jabbing at him. You know exactly what I said. It's such a, just I hate it so much. But we'll see though. Like I said, there is a possibility that both of them have known him from the past. The eye color is what really throws me off, if anything. Not so much the hair color, because again, hair color is easily changed. Yes, eye color can be definitely changed easily as well, but it just seems like it's too much effort to make that happen. Basically, hair color is something that I can logically see from a story standpoint why they would change it. And again, that is to fit in. Eye color, who really cares? Anyways, that was a lot to rant about Masha for the most part. But again, I think there is a really solid connection here between them based on Kuze's kind of experience in his past with his father and mother. And that really does suck. That all aside, though, it was really cute seeing that whole segment with the date. They go to the store and she starts looking at plushies and she's like, oh, we should get some that look like everybody. This one totally looks like Alya. And then she's like, we should stop doing this. We can't buy plushies. And she goes, this one looks exactly like the president. And he like, it really does look like the president. It's like he totally feeds into it. And then later on, yes, totally implying that she's totally saying, take Alya. Oh, wait. Okay, let me take that for you. Here, let me entrust you with Alya. Take care of Alya for me. Alya, that was so cute. And yeah, the whole tea store thing, which yeah, that was what kind of brought that up. The idea that yeah, my sister would probably know so much more about tea because she spent time with mom. Which again, there is another implication that it seems like either the family was well off and the mother took the fortune, or at least the father gave it to her to take care of Yuki or something like that. Knowing a lot about teas like that does technically fit the bill for a rich family or whatever, or at least a a well-off upbringing, which again does technically connect Alya and Kuze and Masha, and the idea that they probably lived in a very fancy area of the town with some nice houses, because obviously Alya's family's well off too. Anyhow, that's my thoughts on episode 3 of Roshidere. Really good episode. Again, nothing really kind of pervy here, which is a lot of fun to talk about, just kind of joke about, but still, it was a really, really insightful episode. Really does give us some insight into the characters and some possible drama they can get into them, which is fantastic. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit that like button down below, comment, let me know the thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button to get my content. I add news, reviews, first impressions, top list if it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you like this content and you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips, links, so thanks, membership button below. Greatly appreciate what it does, and y'all take care.